we are ending our series, our Easter series, that began during April. And so we wanted to look at actually bringing the presence of God into that daily consciousness. When I first started metaphysics, I was going to a church, and this is the affirmation they said every single Sunday. There is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. There is only one presence and one power in this church, God the good, omnipotent. There is only one presence and one power in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And as I would say that affirmation, I was a young, soon-to-be single mom, and I would say it when I would go home and there'd be negative energies. There's only one presence and one power in my home, God the good, omnipotent. It would bring the awareness and the presence of God into me, into where I am, into that space. And I said it quite often. So God awareness was brought to my physical world. And Jesus brought God awareness to the world. So breathe it in. Can you see how we need to be aware of God much more? All right. Jesus said while he was here, I am with you always, even unto the end. And so I wanted to share just a quick scripture with you. This is Aquarian 175. He has resurrected, and he is visiting people. And you guys know that Lazarus and Mary and Martha were his cousins, and he loved them dearly. So his cousins are at home chatting about what has happened. Everybody's just stunned. They're all stunned. And they're talking about the possibility that he's arisen. And Lazarus says, well, I don't think that's possible. And Mary said, no, he brought you back. It's possible. And then Jesus appeared. And then Jesus appeared in front of them. Jesus said, all hail, for I am risen from the dead, first fruit of the grave. And Martha ran and brought the chair in which the Lord had ever loved to sit. And Jesus sat in the chair. And for a long, long time they talked about the trial, the scenes of Calvary, the garden, and Siloam. And then Jesus said, fear not, for I will be your boon companion all the way. And then he disappeared. I love that phrase, boon companion. That means friend. I will be your friend, and I will care about you, and I will be with you. I'll be compassionate and understanding. So, he appeared to them, and he said he would walk with us. At the ascension, this is what we understand. At the ascension, Jesus rose to be one with the Father. He said, I need to go be one with the Father. When he became one with the Father, he became as the Father, which is omniscient, all-knowing, omnipotent, all-powerful, and omnipresent, everywhere present. And that is why on the earth today everybody has access to Jesus Christ to say his name or feel his energy. And you can connect with him, omnipresence, just like God. While he was walking on the earth, he was not those things. He was not omnipresent. He was localized. Yes? So this great energy, I will be with you always, this great energy, I will be able to be with you on this earth plane until the end. So, he appears to us even today. Did you know that? Okay. What I wanted to do today, making Jesus real in this world today, I've asked a couple of people to come and share their stories. Which are just wonderful. So if you'll open your heart, we're going to start with Terry Capote, and then Patrick will step up after that. And just share a bit of a story where they've actually had that physical contact with that presence. Terry?
Me again. So, several years ago, I've been around here a while, so Cindy and Patrick have to hear all of my ramblings sometimes. So, several years ago, I was driving home from work in my tiny little Jeep Wrangler, and I had an encounter with a large FedEx box van. I had kind of a blow to my head, and when I kind of came to and realized what had happened, I looked around and I was surrounded by people. And only a few were physically there, of course, but there were a lot of people there, trust me in that. Patrick was there, which threw me. How the heck did he get to the side of the road in that part of town? He should not have been there, but he was there. So I've talked about it fairly often. So when Cindy came to me and asked me to talk about that incident, I assumed that's what she was referring to. But then she asked me, was Jesus there? And I had to think about that. And then I realized, yeah, he was there. Of course he was there. Why wouldn't he have been? And I realized that it's not that I took him for granted. I just expected him to be there. Why wouldn't he be there? So this led me to kind of looking at all of the moments in my life, and we all have them, where we're surrounded by people that maybe aren't necessarily there, but they're there. And that led me to when I donated my kidney. The night before, my mother and I were in the hospital room trying to rest, and there were so many people in the room that we had to actually tell them, shh, I need to rest. But there were people that, I recognized as ancestors. There were people that I didn't recognize that I later learned were connected to my recipient. There were people surrounding me. And I didn't look for Jesus because I just knew he was there. Of course he's there. So I've just been raised that he's a partner in everything that I've ever done in my entire life. So I don't look for him. I just take it for granted that he's there. And I don't mean that in a casual way. He's just, I would only notice if he wasn't. And he hasn't let me down yet. So why didn't he stand out? And I think it's just because I knew he's there. Of course he's there. And he's just been there for everything. And it's just an expected thing. And so you might think that this is my strong faith, and it's not. I give all of the credit to my mother, who raised me to believe that I'm always taken care of, whether it's by her or my family or by bigger things than I can wrap my mind around. I'm good. I'm covered. And so I guess what I'm saying is, and I've talked about this before, is that, people, they talk about the glass half full, half empty thing. And I've always thought, well, my glass is half full. And then I realized it goes back further. My mother raised me to believe that I've got a glass, no matter what's in it. And if I've got a glass, I've got a plan. And so the first drop in that glass every day when I wake up is Christ. He's with me every single day, every step of the way. And so I recognize that. I'm grateful for that. And if you ever see me looking shocked, it's because he didn't show up, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Awesome. Don't we all want to stick to that story? I have had a lot of experiences with Jesus the Christ. And when Cindy was asking for people to maybe share one of the experiences that they had with the Christ, I said, yeah, I'll get one. And, so this is about 30 years ago. We do healing work, and we've been doing healing work our whole life. Cindy was doing it before she met me. I was doing it before I met her. We got together, and we really used to do some heavy-duty healing work with people. And thank heavens consciousness has shifted and risen, so it's a lot easier than it used to be. So one day, we had our jobs in the world, but then a lot of times on the weekends we do healing work at the house. And people would just come. And one day this young lady came, and she was about 17 years old, just a gorgeous young little spirit, And so she came in, and I was doing these spiritual massage healings, which are kind of intense also. And So I set the table up, and so I started working on spiritual massage, and it's using spirit and breath and the Christ energy. And it's to go in and move not only in the physical body, but deep within the body to the thoughts that we're embodying, that we just carry with us. And I didn't know her or anything, and so I'm working with her, and you're working through the whole body, and I got down and I was like on her thigh here, and I was kind of using my energy and pulling energy out and sending in the Christ energy and everything, and this big entity popped right out of her body, and it was this heinous entity that we might think about in horror movies. And so it's up there, and it just comes right at me and looking me in the face like, what are you doing? And if your hair has ever stood up on your body, it's like, whoa. And the first thing that I did was I just took a breath for a moment, and then I called in Jesus. It's Jesus. I am with you always. And just that little call, Jesus, I need you here. And so, appears at the side of the table, Jesus the Christ. The entity's there, not wanting to leave the host. But with that Christ love and the transmutation, the energies that happened, that entity was lifted up out of that girl. And then I'm standing there and Jesus there, and so he gave me, it's almost like instantaneous, this understanding of why this was happening to this young soul. And it was a lesson for me, a class for me, a reaffirmation of who we really are. And this young lady had had many lifetimes where she had been that young virgin who was sacrificed to a god, an outside entity. And it happened to her, and she believed that that was like a really high calling for her to do that. This lifetime, after many, many lifetimes, this is a pattern that's within her. She was probably 17 years. When I started talking with her, she didn't know what she wanted to do in her life. She didn't even have a direction or a clue. She was on ground that was not familiar to her. She was on her way to an accident in her lifetime now because of this pattern of not believing that life could go on farther than she had gone. And so Jesus gave this to me like in a second. So that when I got done the process with her and just talked with her a little bit to share, how her life was before her. Look at the qualities that you own now. Look at the love that's around you now. Look at your potential. And in that simple healing with Jesus the Christ, she left. We never saw her again. She's out blossoming life somewhere, and I know she's doing good. I was shown, all of us, when we put that power, that love, that Christ, that Father within energy outside of ourselves, we become the victim. And then Jesus, in this short time, said, I'll be with you always. And that cliche sounds so simple, but I've had so many sessions with people, and I'll get done and I'll be talking with them, and they'll say, I saw Jesus. Jesus was here. And I goes, yeah, he was. Just like Terry. It's not I. It's not I. It is that Christ love that doeth the works, that creates, that manifests, that is. And I'll never forget that experience but what was revealed was just powerful. We have the Christ within our hearts. That's all we need. And just know it. That's the glass. Yeah, God.
Okay. As you heard Terry's story, as you heard Patrick's story, did you feel remembrances within you of times when you have been touched by Spirit? Half of you? Okay. In metaphysical Christianity, when we meditate, we teach you to go within. We teach you to touch that Christ spark within you and to touch the presence of Jesus Christ, because he came to the planet and created the touchstone from us to God. So we will feel his energy. Sometimes we will see a light. Sometimes we'll actually see features. Sometimes it's on the etheric plane often. It's in the spiritual plane. So it's not a sense of dimensionality. It's not a sense of somebody here that can tap you on the shoulder. And what I wanted you to start being open to is the reality that if you can feel it in spirit, you can feel it at whatever level you need. You can literally feel it at whatever level you need. So I appreciate Patrick and Terry. I had no idea what they were going to say. So I appreciate you all sharing from your heart what was monumental for you, both in realizing the presence and the power of Jesus Christ, and the realization that it's the absence that would strike you the most. I have one story that I was going to share about the physicality. Only in my many years, only once have I seen his face. In my face, where I could touch it, where I could see the dimensions in the skin, I could see the color of the skin, I could see the eyes, I could see the cut of the jaw. I could see him, literally. And that only happened once. And I was meditating. We did a Mother Earth Marine meditation every year at the spring solstice, and we do a peace meditation in the 90s when John Randolph Price started that movement for world peace. And so it was many years ago. I wish I'd seen it more, but many years ago I was laying on the floor with our group, our little Inner Quest group. We were upstairs in a building that we rented. We rented the upstairs suite for 10 years. And maybe there were 15 people, maybe 15 people. And we all were laying on the floor. We were going to do the Mother Earth Marine meditation that was being done worldwide based on the time of the local area, so it would be a wave of prayer for the planet. So we were doing our participation. I was laying on the floor. And we were all doing the same meditation, so the tape began. And the music began to play, and I'm laying on the floor, and I'm saying, I'm ready to go, I'm centering in. And I saw his face in front of me. And I saw two men on either side, but it was his face looking right at me. And my thought instantly was, wow, he loves me. It was just pure love. Pure love. And I've shared with you many times what I said to him. I gotta go, I got work to do. Instead of saying, wow, talk to me, oh my God, you're here, oh my God. It's like, no, I gotta go heal the planet. And so I'm roaming now during the meditation with the world going, you just dissed Jesus. But I've never forgotten it. Because what I saw in his eyes was the purest love for me. We bought this property in 2000, so this would have been in the 1990s. A small little place, 15 people. Why would he make himself known to me? Why would he show me his face and his features? And he's beautiful, by the way. He doesn't look like the pictures. But why would I see him? Why would he come to such humble surroundings for so few people? Because I asked. Because we were all opening our hearts and we were asking for contact. You know, we think that that as spiritual beings, we need to be involved in great spiritual movements. We just need to be the spiritual movement. And there is no thing that keeps our consciousness from communing with God, Jesus Christ, the angels. No thing keeps it from that. And I will tell you, he appeared to me physically then. I literally saw his essence in the eyes of a human being once. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I had asked to do a talk at a weight loss center, and one of the big spiritual leaders of Atlanta had walked in, one of the big spiritual leaders of Atlanta. She's no longer here. This is again many years ago. And I went, oh, hey, I knew her, we chitty-chatted. Her sidekick, not her sidekick, I looked at her face and went, oh my God. I don't know if I said something to her, I probably did, you know me. I probably went, oh my God, you've got the eyes of the Christ. But I was stunned. I stopped dead in my tracks and I went, Jesus Christ is in her. Did he materialize as a woman? That's how strong it was. He is in her now. And the Christ was shining. I don't know if it was her Christ or what it was, but it was so real, and it was in human embodiment, a human person. Again, how many times in my many years? Once. For us to think, though, that spirit does not manifest in matter, for us to think that personality cannot come and be with us, it can. Absolutely. Nearer than hands and feet, within, but also I will be your boon companion. I will walk with you. So, as metaphysical Christians, we'll spend a month, I don't know if y'all have caught on yet, we spend a month talking about the Bible and Jesus and the Quarian and stuff. Then we spend a month talking about you. How to become greater, how to take the light into the world, how to think open thoughts. Have you not realized that? We talk about you guys. We talk about how do we become the children of God on the planet. Then we'll take another month and we'll delve into stories and stuff of Jesus. Because nearer than hands and feet is in us. And this is when we open to the reality. God, Jesus never said, I am your Savior. I am your boon companion. I'm your friend. I know God. You know God. You've just forgotten. Wake up. Wake up. You know God. It's in you. And we are one. All right. We do feel him every day. Every healing. I feel him every healing. I see the light every healing. Every counseling. He sits with me. Every reading he goes with me. I don't see his face like I did, but he is with me in every moment. I ask often that he be with me in very unusual moments when I cook and stuff. And those times when you are feeling lonely on the earth plane. Do you ever feel that?
Yeah.
It's just lonely. Just lonely. You can call on that presence just to sit with you. I wonder how often he watches TV with you guys. Just to sit with you, to be with you, to hold your heart. We are not supposed to walk alone. And it doesn't matter if you've ever seen him or haven't felt him or anything else. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is ask. Let me touch the one who was able to walk in the matter-filled space of earth and remember he was a child of God, be realized, use God energy in a way that had not been done before, go to God and now become the guide for us all. All right. So as we move now, we're going to be beginning our month about you in May. It's all about you guys. So as we do that, let's not forget that in the meditation time to bring in Jesus Christ. Try it for a month. Some of you start your meditation just breathing in the light. You don't even say hi to God. Oh, Jesus, just bring the light in. Well, why don't you say hi to God and ask Jesus to sit with you when you meditate and see if it shifts and changes. But let's try to do that for this month as we're going through our new learning. Does that sound easy and good? All right, so let's just go within and anchor in. Just take a breath. God, we ask that your infinite love enfold us now. And I ask that a beautiful column of light come over everyone in this room, and individual wonderful columns of light just engulf each one. Feel love. Let your focus now go to your heart. And just breathe and feel God is in you. There is only one presence and one power in my heart. God the good, omnipotent. I am a child of God. Let everything go. Let all the thoughts go. Be in your heart. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. Feel yourself relaxing. Feel the warmth going through you. Soft. And now we invite the presence of Jesus Christ to move into your column of light. And just notice the shift in energy. It does not have to be profound. Just notice the shift of energy. I invite the presence of Jesus Christ to be in my column of light. And I feel your love for me. And just let that energy come into you. You may see a light, you may see a color, you may just sense a shift. Some of you may literally see a face, His presence. Whatever you sense or see is perfect. I breathe in the love from Jesus Christ, and I am stronger because of His walk. I am stronger because of Him. Breathe it in. Now turn your awareness to the heart. Father, Mother God, we thank you for this space in time where we can celebrate life and learn. And we thank you for that beautiful presence of Jesus the Christ, who's with us always. Take a breath, and as you exhale, send your love into the room. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. All right, well, you all know your homework. Do your homework. Breathe in that love and light. Say, yeah, God.
Yeah.